Joining us now is Pete Najarian, co-founder of Market Rebellion, which focuses on educating the individual investor. Pete, good morning to you and welcome to the show. The market, as Alicia was just pointing out, the market expects the Fed to hold steady today. Are you expecting the same?
100%. Yeah, I really do. I look at this and it looks like they want to have one more pause before we actually get to the next level, which is in September, where it's, like was just mentioned, about a 64% shot that they will actually cut the rates. But for right now, I think the one shocker would be if they actually cut rates at this particular meeting. I don't see that happening. That's something that Powell has been very, very solid about where he stands on that. And we've had multiple situations where there have been governors who've wanted to see cuts, but we have not seen those cuts for quite some time. And there was a lot of folks that were expecting those earlier in the year, just not seeing it right now.
The Fed keeps reiterating that they're not going to lower rates right now amid all this tariff uncertainty around Trump's tariffs. If Friday is the trade deadline for these other countries and partners to come forward with their best and final offers, are we going to have a clearer picture going into next week, maybe, about what the Fed will do next time around?
I would think so. And I think that we're starting to see a few of the governors, not just one, but maybe two that are going to be pushing off and pushing back, rather, on the fact that we are going to pause. So I do think that that is a very significant date, obviously August 1st, but it doesn't mean we can't push that further back as well, just like we have on other occasions. So I would expect to see that August 1st, if things aren't really taken care of the way we'd like to, they'll just keep on pushing it back as long as they are able to sit down and actually have some good conversations about where things need to be. And I think that's something that the president's been very clear about that. One thing that Powell was clear about things was he talked about data and how data was so important. Well, the data recently has given them a reason to have those cuts, and I think that's the frustration for the president.
And as you know, stocks have been shrugging off the trade uncertainty since plunging back in April, but a lot of questions over whether the U.S. will reach a tariff truce with China. How much is that going to matter for the markets? And are investors underestimating some other risks too, like Russia's trading partners potentially getting hit with 100% sanctions if Putin doesn't enter a peace deal?
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. And I think that the fact that China is the big one, right? I mean, when we look at all these various things, we've seen some deals being made. We've seen record income coming in from this revenue from the tariffs. So there's a lot of positives already. But I think the biggest thing right now is obviously Canada, Mexico, and China. Those are the big three for the president. That's what he's staring at. That's the ones that he wants to get done. I don't think that's going to be done by August 1st, but I do think that's something that as long as there's progress there, I think the president will be very pleased about things. But that is something that everybody's been focusing on is when will they get this deal done with China? That's the big one. That's the huge one. That's the, as the president says, very, very big. And I think that's what people are waiting for.
And lastly, before I let you go, what are you hearing from individual investors and, any words of wisdom to the rest of us right now as we're all navigating this uncertainty with our own investments and stocks?
The uncertainty factor is certainly there. But I will tell you this, the one thing that I'm certain of, when we look at this earnings season, it's been absolutely amazing, right? I mean, the idea that we've had so far about 35% of the S&P reporting and about 80% have been beat. So I think that's one thing that people have been very, very focused on. It's why we're hitting record highs, it seems like, in the three major indices almost on a daily basis. It's been absolutely incredible because of the fact that people have been able to navigate through this despite the fact of what the backdrop is, which is obviously the tariffs.
Yeah, well, we'll be watching it 2 p.m. Eastern today, as I know you will be too. Pete Najarian, pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you, sir.